Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. This Thursday, March 10th, 2022 is World Kidney Day. It is a worldwide health awareness campaign focusing on the importance of kidneys and reducing the frequency and impact of kidney diseases and its associated health problems. Kidneys remove waste as well as extra fluid from our bodies. Overall, they help to maintain a healthy balance of waste, salts, and minerals in our blood. Kidney disease is on the rise worldwide, and our federation is no exempt. Nurse Ikirsha Rawlins is here with us on Good Morning SKN to address this talk of the town. Good morning, Nurse Rawlins. Right, so I want to find out right off the bat, do the kidneys have any other function other than blood filtration?
Okay, as we said, the kidneys are a pair of bean-shaped organs outside of the spine, below the rib cage, and your belly. We always associate, anytime you hear kidneys, they are big bean-shaped. So that's what we always associated with. The function, as you mentioned before, is to remove waste, removal of excess fluids, balance of minerals and chemicals within our bodies, and the control of the blood pressure, and red blood cells production, and also to maintain healthy bones. That's the function of the kidney, basically.
Okay, other than the blood filtration.
Yes, this is an addition to what you said.
Oh, okay.
What you said.
All right.
All right, so we're talking about World Kidney Day, and obviously all parts of our bodies, they're important. But in speaking to the kidney, what is it that you would like the public to know and be aware of in terms of the way that we take care of our kidneys?
Okay, that's a very good question, because we know that we have had an increase in kidney diseases, and most of the times when people find out that they do have kidney disease, it's when it's too late. You have pre-existing signs and symptoms, but because you don't pay attention to these signs, you are not aware of it. So sometimes you have fatigue, excess vomiting, you feel very tired, you pee fast or something like that, you just don't feel anything, weakness. These are basically signs and symptoms to tell you that something is wrong with the kidneys. So you don't take these signs for granted. You just go to your doctor, explain to your doctor will do a blood test. Normally when doctor does a blood test, what he specifically looks for is an increase in the creatinine. If there's an increase in the creatinine, then what it does, it signifies that something is wrong with the kidney, which leads to end-stage renal disease. So when you hear somebody have kidney test, you say, okay, the person has kidney problems. It's actually end-stage renal disease. That is what we call ESRD, which means the person's kidneys have reached this stage that they are irreversible in a sense, so they will have to go on what I do currently in my profession is on hemodialysis.
Wow. So that's the connection to the machine?
That's the connection to the machine where it filters the blood. What the machine does is that when the patient comes to us, what the machine does during hemodialysis, it takes the decontaminated blood, or what we call the dirty blood, which is it takes it from the arterial, it sends it to the venous, and when it comes back to the patient, it is purified.
Okay.
So what the patient actually gets back is the clean blood. And they actually do this for 3 days a week for a time of 4 hours.
And is this ongoing?
Yes, it's an ongoing thing. Unfortunately, it's a terminal condition. The only so it is not terminal, or you get you get better from it, is basically a kidney transplant.
Okay.
Or a miracle from God.
Wow.
Which is, it's possible, anything is possible from God, but that's the only cure to this disease.
Well, I'll tell you, a kidney transplant is also a miracle from God. So when we talk about these things, kidney failure, kidney disease, etc., is it that you notice that perhaps it's more prevalent in younger people, older people, men, women, or just anybody suspected?
Good question. The problem is that what we see in my department that I work in, we have a balance, but most of the cause of this that I have seen is patients with diabetes and high blood pressure. That's the prevalent cause. So most of those persons that I have come into contact with, it's either high blood pressure or diabetes. With the diabetes and high blood pressure are brothers and sisters. They walk hand in hand. So basically, most of them either have high blood pressure or diabetes or both. But those are one of the main causes why they end up with end-stage renal disease.
That's quite a dysfunctional family that I don't
know,
recommend.
exactly.
Those that walk hand in hand.
Yes, yes. We always associate them as brothers and sisters, basically. You can have one without the other, but most of the cases, you have both of them. And most of the cases that the patients that we have, they do have kidney disease. But as I said, it's a balancing age. We have young, which is like 20-something, 30-something. The youngest one that we've ever had, she was, I think, was 12, 13.
Wow.
Yes, at a very young age. And we had, patients that came. We had one that was just for a short time because they had, an excess. They were taking some antibiotics. And this is one of the causes that can also cause kidney disease as well too, the overdose of antibiotics. So that was just for like a short period, but that was just because of that purpose. But those that we have currently, those are permanent patients.
Yeah, okay.
So having seen all this, what is your message to the general public, especially as we celebrate World Kidney Day?
The message that I would give first off the bat is to get tested. That would be my first bat. The bat would be to get tested, because when we do our yearly checkup at the doctors, doctors will run all these various tests.
Yeah.
But if you realize that you have a history of high blood pressure, you don't take some of these things, the signs, the fatigue, the nausea, the vomiting, and those kind of things, you don't take them for granted. The tiredness, you could either pee fast or pee less. You don't take these things for granted. You go and you ask the doctor to, give you your test, and then that will be an indication of where you stand between the line. So it's always good to get tested. That would be the first thing. Once you know that you are hypertensive, it's always good to get tested, and don't take these signs for granted and think that, I'm just not feeling well. Don't take it for granted. And your kidneys are very important. Your kidneys are very important. And without them, the waste, you can't get the waste eliminated from your body. So in order for you to get the waste eliminated, you have to have 2 functioning kidneys. And that is critically important. So, my advice would to let everybody know that the kidneys are well functioning kidneys. Once you know that you have signs or you have any symptoms, please check your doctor and make sure that you get it right, because sometimes when you do find out, it is too late, and some patients will say, oh, but I was been going to the doctor all the time and this wasn't happening. So the best thing is to always get tested and make sure that your kidneys are functioning. They are life-saving organs.
This first question, I guess, speaks to whether kidney disease is hereditary. Is it?
To be honest, it can be. It can be, but as I said before, it stems from blood pressure, high blood pressure or diabetes. But some persons, it can be inherited. Others, it could be a kidney disease that you have been having from a long time, abnormal kidneys or something like that. So it's not basically inherited. You could develop it. It doesn't have to be inherited. It can be, but it's not usually.
Okay, so
the cases that I've seen is not usually, it's due to high blood pressure.
So the high blood pressure is a factor that we can control. So everything that you've said basically says that there are external or extraneous factors that could affect our health. So in treating that, or even in attempting to avoid the development of worsening kidney health,
yes,
we might have to make some lifestyle changes.
Lifestyle changes, yes. The lifestyle changes including, is for somebody, because we're talking about the person who have kidney problems. For a patient who have kidney problems, the diet is a very difficult diet to manage. Because they have to limit their fluid, because as we mentioned, the kidney eliminates the fluid. So because the kidneys are not functioning, then they're not a chance for it to remove the fluid. So basically, when the fluid is removed is when they come for dialysis treatment. Apart from that, the fluid is stored. So what happens when they come for dialysis treatment, as I said before, it filters the blood. It takes the dirty one, as we would call it, or the contaminated one, it sends back the clean one to them. And it removes all the excess fluid that they would have been storing during the past time. Because as I said, it's 3 days a week they come. Some is like Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And how we manage the treatment, or how we do the treatment, is they have a dry weight, which is the exact weight that they're actually supposed to be. So for example, they are supposed to be 68. That's the dry weight. If they come with 72, which means that we have to take off 2 kg.
Okay.
Because that's the excess fluid. The goal is to get them back home with their dry weight, which is their actual weight that they're supposed to be doing. So that is what we do. And also because they lose red blood cells, we have to replace the red blood cells. So we give them medication for that as well too during the treatment. But it's kind of difficult for them to manage. And that is why the support of the family is critically important, because, it takes them to manage them, also help them with their diet. Because there's a lot of things that they can't eat. And, sometimes humans, we like to do a little cheating. And they mostly do the cheating, especially when they're coming for treatment. That's human nature. You're coming for treatment. So you say, okay, then I'm going for treatment tomorrow. So, I do a little cheating.
And then they're going to take it off from me.
Exactly. So that is what is one of the things that, normally happen. But we still try to educate them, because diet is pretty important. And the consumption of fluid is pretty important during dialysis treatment. That is key. And the family support. So those are key.
I want to know, are there foods that cause high blood pressure and diabetes?
Well, one of the main, salt. Because if you consume salt, for a patient with kidney problems, a person with kidney problems, if they consume salt, or if you consume salt, what is going to make you do? It's going to make you thirsty.
Yeah.
So we want to eliminate the amount of fluid that they're taking in. Okay. So, salt is a no-no. Because it makes you thirsty. From you're thirsty, you're going to drink. Because sometimes the patient will come and they will say, nurse, the day was hot, so I had to drink some fluid. Because I said, well, how come you come with this amount of weight? You come with a lot. But nurse, the plate was hot, so I had to drink. And what can you do? Because you're not in their shoes, so you got to understand them. But you're still at the point in time, still have to educate them as well, too. So you still have to educate them and say, yes, I know that it was hot, but use ice strips, and that kind of thing, just to monitor. So you don't come in with extra fluid, yes.
Okay.
That sounds like a very difficult regimen.
I know.
It seems better just to try to get your health in order at first. But of course,
exactly.